You're watching Tip TV Finance with me, Jenny Hammond and Zach Meir, and with us in the studio is Jerry Randall, CEO of Venture Life Group PLC. Jerry, it's good to have you with us.
You're welcome. Pleased to be here.
So your company makes products to combat signs of aging and that sort of thing. So first up, what can you recommend to Zach here?
Well, Zach,
I'll take everything.
Zach will probably need the complete suite of products.
Okay.
But the principle is they're self-care products that they use to help your quality of life as you get older. But it can be things from hair loss to dealing with high cholesterol, skin aging, joint pain, memory loss.
That's everything.
But the problem with memory loss is you have to remember where you put them. So, but yeah, all of those.
Even cosmetic things such as Botox, that sort of thing?
No, I mean that's a procedure.
Yeah.
So we wouldn't do that. But we do creams, liquids, gels, things that could be topically applied. It's a self-care market, so it's things that you would buy yourself, take home and use on yourself. So, Botox is a bit tricky.
This must be absolutely burgeoning, this market at the moment, considering even really younger women who are probably your main buyers, even in the early 20s now starting to do that, trying to take collagen creams, that sort of thing.
For sure, yeah. I think it's healthy aging is all about starting the process of looking after yourself from an early age. So the earlier you start to take, for example, anti-wrinkle creams or the like, the better the effect will be. If you sort of crash into your 55, 60-year-old and then try and recover it all, it's harder. So it's all about a sort of maintenance, a healthy aging regime that you use to keep your body in good shape.
A couple of issues. Clearly, there's massive demand. It must be a massive market, a growing market. How much money is in there for shareholders of your company? What are the margins? What's the outlook?
Sure. So as a business, we made margins last year of in 2015 of 33% gross, but that has increased in 2016. I can't disclose that now because the results are later, but you'll see that increasing. And the business model is set up so that ultimately we'll be generating 20% margin at the bottom line. We're not doing that now because we're going through a phase of rapid growth. But we've got an operating leverage on the business such that for every extra pound of revenue we put through the business, that generates a gross margin, and most of that gross margin will now fall to the bottom line. So we don't have to incur significant more overheads to grow the revenue in the business.
Right, and obviously we've said it's a popular area. People can understand why it's going to grow. Does that mean there's competition in your space as well?
Yeah, I mean, there's always competition in the self-care market because lots of people have products out there. The unique features of our products are that they are clinically backed. There's always some clinical data to show that they work and they're efficacious. They're priced effectively for the consumer. They're not priced at the £100 or £200 per treatment. They're down in the sort of 25 to 30 euros for the treatment. They're safe, they're properly developed, they're properly registered, and they have some USPs about the product. They may have a mechanism of action that's unusual. They may have an active that's unusual. So those things will distinguish the product and put you in a position to market those. We use partners around the world to market our products, so they will sign agreements on a long-term basis, 5 or 10 years, and they will do the marketing, they will have the marketing spend, the cost of the sales force, etc. But they will use those USPs in order to push the product. So they're generally niche products. They're products that may, for us, ultimately generate £5 or £10 million of revenue and maybe be a 30 to 40 million retail market. But they're not the hundreds of million blockbusters, because in that space you're going to get knocked out by the big players very quickly.
And where do I find, as a consumer, where do I find this? Or is it in Boots and I wouldn't know about it? How does it work?
It is in Boots, yes. We only have one product on sale in the UK at the moment, Ultradex, which is a fresh breath mouthwash, but it's also good for bleeding gums and general hygiene. But you can go to Boots, you can go to Tesco's, Waitrose, or even Amazon and Ocado, and you'll find it there.
So you buy that, but you wouldn't know necessarily that was one of your products. So it's something that's in.
It's branded. All of our products are branded with their own particular brand, which is the brand we will use around the world. I mean, for example, Benecol is one of our products, the food supplement, and that's obviously a well-recognised brand. But every box will show that it's made by Venture Life. That it's part of our business. But above the line advertising is always the way to get these products known. It's consumer awareness, famously sort of D2C advertising. Now in the UK we undertake that, so we undertook a tube campaign recently. We're going to be on TV this year advertising that product, but our partners abroad will do that as well as using internet media.
Right, as far as the stock market is concerned, what's been the reaction there to your company?
Well, recently the reaction's been very good. We've just 2016 was a record revenue year for us. We generated over 14 million of revenue, nearly 60% up from the previous year, partly through acquisition, but also through organic growth across the whole of our business. And yesterday, when we announced that revenue growth, the reaction I think was a 10 to 12% increase in the share price. So very well received. now that we're generating EBITDA profit, and this year, 2016, that we're reporting is our first EBITDA profit, and it will just continue to grow from there. So now it's a profitable company, and people can see that we're funded and we're in a position to grow forward and fund the growth of the business.
And where are your main markets if you said you only have one product out in the UK?
Yeah, well, we sell all over the world. We have 80 partners around the world, and we sell in 40 countries. So our main markets really are Europe. We have some in the US. We sell in China, also the Middle East, Far East. So literally all of the main countries that are sort of semi-Westernised or buying Western products, we're selling in.
And how do you judge whether they're effective or not? Because a lot of, for example, skin creams you see, as it says, you know, there's a survey of 30 women and like 98% thought it was effective, but it's 30 women, so I always think that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, there's always the placebo effect, isn't it? If you give a lady a cream, she puts it on, ask her if she's, you know, feeling better, she's bound to feel better. Because even massaging the cream on your face will improve blood circulation, and that will help. We conduct independent clinical studies on all of our products. So some of our products have as many as 2,000 patients worth of studies. Some of the cosmetic creams, for example, may only be 40 or 50 patients, but they're independently undertaken, objectively measured. So, for example, we'd measure actual reduction of wrinkles or actual tightening of the skin. So, independent, objective clinical data is the only way that you can, you know, prove the efficacy of the products. But we do that across all of our products.
So basically, unless you're happy with something yourself, then you don't put it out.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I use all of our products because we run a women's health range, which of course, you know, I don't need. But we pride ourselves in the fact that our products work, and we don't sell products unless they work. So, you know, many people in our business will use a number of our products. They're very, very good, and we develop products to meet a need. There's no point developing something where it's going to get sent back every week where someone says it doesn't work. So, but you know, proving by independent clinical data is the way that we put that out to the public.
And the different trends in different sectors for beauty products. I imagine in China, for example, you said you sell creams and that sort of thing there. There's a trend in there to have almost like whitening pigments in the creams, yeah. And, you know, do you...
It's culturally very... I suppose fashionable to have paler skin in China because obviously the common skin colour is to be darker. What the trends are from China are all about having European brands and European products. So our products are made in Italy, and on the box it's very clear that they're made in Italy. They're branded with the European brand, and that's what the Chinese market want. Obviously the higher end market, I mean, we're selling into the sort of higher end prestige premium consumer range, but it's the European angle they want. In the same way they want Gucci, Prada clothes, they want Mercedes cars, they want European cosmetics. So that's really important. The efficacy obviously matters, but it's the branding that's really important in China.
And how does that compare to, say, the likes of the US?
Similar, although obviously in the US they have a much wider range. To some extent, I think in cosmetics, people are almost going back to niche brands as opposed to mass brands. But our products are sold, as I say, on how they work, the fact they're great creams, well made, soak into the skin, deliver the actives very well, and ultimately that's what will sell the products.
Sounds like a growth situation. I suppose this is the turnaround year that you've got with the EBITDA turnaround. So really from now on, it's like year one for you.
Yeah, I mean, we always feel every year is the start. I founded the company 5 years ago with my commercial director, Sharon, and every year we feel is the start. We had a big start in 2014. We floated the company, we merged with our manufacturing business in Italy, and this year again we're kicking on. We're expecting good growth this year. We've just launched 3 new products as well, 2 of which one is patented, one's being patented. So that generates value from within the company, new markets, new ideas. So yeah, every year is a new start for us. But now we're in a position that we're moving to be a profitable company. Many other investors become interested in the business.
Well, so Jenny won't need your services for a long time, but I've got literally the whole. It sounds like everything you'd make, I need. So,
Sure.
but is it an expensive thing? I mean, it's not. You said it was like fairly priced for the
Yeah,
ordinary consumer.
when you sell through the pharmacy channel, you have to recognise it is a self-care market, and that people are funding it themselves. So we don't have reimbursed products paid for by, for example, NHS. Or healthcare providers. So 20 to 30 euros is the sort of price point you've been. Some of our products, obviously our mouthwashes are lower, they're 8 to 10 pounds, but that 20 to 30 is where we aim, because that's where a consumer, you know, will purchase
like
a product.
the value area.
Yeah, it is absolutely. I mean, that's the premium end, but it's the value area.
So finally, what sort of trends are you seeing moving forwards in the beauty sector?
Well, the beauty sector is always growing. There's always demand. I would characterise it more as the aesthetic value, because we have a mouthwash called Ultradex. It's a fresh breath product. And 20 years ago, people would have not even talked about fresh breath, or they would have said, oh, you know, brush your teeth a bit more. It's actually an aesthetic confidence issue, because if you have bad breath, you're conscious of it. You may not tell anyone, but you're conscious about where your head's pointing. Do you put a hand in front of your mouth? And that's a really big thing. thing. So that's a big trend. In oral care, we've seen the sort of fresh breath market grow rapidly, and that's why we bought a product in that market. So it's always growing, there's always changes, you have to keep up with technology. But ultimately, people want to look better and live longer, and that's where we are.
Absolutely. Jerry, thank you.
You're welcome.
Jerry Randall there, CEO of Venture Life Group PLC.